Welcome to Property Mama, Adventures in Real Estate. This is where I share all about the goings on when it comes to buying and selling real estate. Episode 16 of Property Mama. If we've not met before, my name is Wendy Chamberlain and I am a buyer's agent, buyer's advocate here in Melbourne, Australia. So, in a previous episode, you would have heard me talk about a negotiation that we were in the midst of, where we had offered 100,000 over the guide price, and they had countered with 300,000 over the guide price. So, in today's episode, I want to circle back around and continue uh, letting you know how that negotiation went, because things got a little bit more spicy, shall we say. So I've been engaged by my client to bid at auction. So the property was going to auction on the Saturday. So this was the Monday. And in my initial conversations with the real estate agent, which is what I do, I get in touch with the agent to find out what we need to know about the property, getting ready for the auction and so forth. And it was through this investigative process that I do, we uncovered that the vendor would be open to looking at offers. So as the conversations progressed, I found out that the vendor was living interstate. So they had purchased this property, beautiful old, gorgeous landmark property, and it really probably was a passion project for them. It needed some renovations. It was heritage listed, which adds an additional complication to things. But they'd had a change of circumstances and they had moved interstate for whatever reason. And so they needed to sell this property. Now, they hadn't owned it very long, and with real estate, if unless you've got a strategy going in to get out of real estate quickly, you can often take a bath. And certainly one of the biggest costs when buying real estate is a stamp duty. And if you're going to turn a property over and flip it pretty quickly, like inside of probably 2 years plus, then you're going to take a bath on stamp duty. But as I said, they had a change of circumstance and they'd moved interstate. And so through the conversations, it was revealed that they would need to be flying down back to Melbourne for the auction on Saturday to attend, to be there, etc. So we're having conversations with the real estate agent, and as I said, we'd made our offer and they'd countered, and so that wasn't going anywhere. Now, at this point, which is was about 6 days before the auction, the agent was still indicating they had other buyers there, and they were telling about this one and that one, like in roundabout terms, but indicating you had competition, which is what they do. And this is one of the challenges for people buying real estate is, do you believe them? How do you know? Agents will tell you all kinds of porky pies. They sometimes tell you the truth as well, but how do you know? How do you know? And so they said they had these other buyers floating around. There was someone that had just returned from New York and they were looking at it and they had the budget to buy it. And so we'd made this offer and it got knocked back. So I had the conversation with my client about what they wanted to do. So the next day, they and that was on the shorter settlement. The 100,000 over the guide price was on I think it was a 90-day settlement. So the vendor obviously wanted more money, even though we were well over what was advertised, which means that and we had documented our offer in writing. So technically, under the law, they should have lifted their guide price. They didn't. They did not in any way through the entirety of the negotiation that took place over a number of days update the guide price online, which is what they should have done. So they were basically in breach or operating outside the parameters of what they're supposed to be doing, shall we say. So my client had a bit of a think, and then they wanted to make another offer. So the second offer, which I think was the next day, was much closer to the 300,000 over the guide price. Was sort of in the ballpark of there, maybe about 50,000 under, I think it was. But they wanted a longer settlement because they had their own reasons for what they wanted to do with their life. Now, this is one of the things that is very much real estate. Both sides of the equation, the buyer and the seller, have whatever reasons they have for buying and selling. So there are a myriad of reasons, and no two clients are ever the same. Just as you are different to me, to the person sitting next to you, everybody is individual, and everybody's going to have their various reasons and thoughts and things about the outcome thereafter. So we'd established that the vendor was selling because they'd moved interstate. They were now living interstate, and they were going to have to come back to the auction and to sell the property. My client wanted a longer settlement for their own circumstances because they had other ducks they needed to line up. That's all fine. So we presented this offer to the agent, which was on the 12-month settlement, but it was pretty close to the asking price of what they wanted. They took it to their vendor, and their vendor said no because they needed a shorter settlement. And through these, let me tell you, there were a lot of conversations. Through these conversations that went back and forth over many, many days, that it seems that the agent was given more information of the circumstances of the vendor and what they needed through this process, which, well, this is what they told me. They said that they didn't know this, and they had this stuff revealed because as I suppose offers were coming through, they were finding out more and more about the circumstances of their client. And as it turned out, they needed to have a shorter settlement because they were saying, so the property was vacant. So they had moved out and moved back into state, and the property was vacant. And so where you have a property, I'm not sure if they had rented it out previously or not. I know it had been rented out through the process before then. But they obviously had a loan over the property, and for the longer time that they needed to hold the property, they're obviously having to pay the cost of holding the property. And this is what the agent was now saying to me, that they needed a shorter settlement because it was going to cost some ridiculous amount of, like, thousands of dollars a month to hold the property for the extra months of time. And I said, all right, I'll let my client know. So I was talking to my client. Now, I don't lie to my clients. I tell my clients what the conversations that I'm having with the agent, what the agent is saying, what they're saying, that the vendor is saying, and I relay this back to my client because they need to know to get an understanding of what is going on. And so they said, so the agent had said, no, they're happy with the money. Of course they are. They're happy with the money, but they wanted their terms. Well, my client was happy to give them more money, but they wanted their terms. This is when negotiation comes in, getting all parties to agree on terms that are agreeable to everybody, which I can tell you is sometimes like herding cats. Have you ever tried herding cats? If you haven't, try it, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. So, I mean, it makes me laugh. Oh, yeah, they're happy with the money, but they want shorter settlement because they want their money sooner. So I relayed this back to my client, and so here's the thing. When we're working with clients, we work with different types of clients for different reasons. So some clients just want us to bid at auction. Some clients want us to negotiate. And some clients come on for the full service. So the full service is where we go out hunting for the properties. We have access to off-market properties, which properties aren't listed. The last two that I've purchased for clients have both been off-market. And so when someone is coming just wanting me to bid at auction or to negotiate on a property, we don't have to find out all the ins and outs about the client, about their financing and everything like that, because it's not relevant. They have found the property or want me to bid on a property. This is their budget. I find out what I can, relay that back, and then we show up, bid at auction. So I haven't got a lot more of the background information that we have when we're talking to a full client, which is what we need. So when the agent is saying things to me, basically prodding me, trying to get information out of me, I literally didn't have the information to give. I would not have given him the information, but I literally did not have that information that he was trying to get out of me. So this was the Tuesday, auction on the Saturday. And so my clients, I've said to them, they love the money, but they want shorter settlement. My client said, no, let's just wait. we'll just wait for the auction. We'll see what happens at the auction, which now is only, 4 days away. I said, okay, no worries. So I ring the agent back and saying, no, they're not interested in the shorter settlement. They've said the price. They're happy to wait till the auction on Saturday and see what happens. So this is where it gets funny and spicy with the real estate agent, because real estate agents have scripts that they apply to buyers, let's say. So they'll have these dialogues and scripts that they say, which if you've had any experience with a real estate agent looking to buy a property, you've probably had them tried on you, okay? Like you go to an auction and they've got their scripts that they say, saying when they start the bidding and no one's bidding, they're saying, doesn't matter where we start, it matters where we end. And they've got all their scripts and dialogues that they are taught. Same with trying to get money out of it, somebody to negotiate. So they obviously wanted to get the property sold before the auction. They had the offer, which we had rejected because we wanted our settlement terms. The buyer wanted their price and the settlement terms. And we've said, no, we're just going to wait for the auction. He was not happy with that. So he was trying all these questions. It was like he was sitting there, going through his book, asking, just getting the next script, the next script, the next script. Now, you're not going to, I don't care. I don't care. I'm not emotional about this. I am there doing my job. I absolutely care about my client. I care about getting the outcome my client wants. I don't care what the agent is doing. I don't care about all the emotional crap the agent is pulling out and playing. He was going to town, and this one, there were so many conversations on the phone. This was a 45-minute conversation where he's telling me all about how amazing the property is, which it is, how much work that the vendors have done, and they've gone down the process of the track, and they've got these documents, and they've spoken to these people, and they've got all this materials, and they feel that it's worth this money, none of which my client cared about. So that stopped him in his tracks when he's telling me, and he's spending all this time telling me about how wonderful, how much work the vendor client has already done, and how much it's going to save them time and money when they come in and buy it, and that's already there. And I said, they don't care about that. They're not going to do that. And he's like, oh, but it's really amazing. I said, it may well be, but they don't care. So he was getting more and more agitated because my little spidey senses were starting to go, why are you getting so agitated about this? You've told me you've got these other buyers that are interested in the property and they're going to show up at the auction. The negotiation that we were looking to do was complicated because there was various bits and pieces with clauses and settlement times and things. It wasn't a straightforward offer or negotiation that we were doing with this real estate agent. So you go, well, why are you getting so agitated with me that I'm not coming to the party for you when you could just wait for the auction in a few days' time and get the result you say, because you've got all these other buyers floating around, because that's what you're telling me. And I'm going on what you're telling me. And by the end of this conversation, as I said, he's saying whatever you're saying. I'm saying, okay, fine, I'll let my client know, because I'm Switzerland. I'm not emotional about it at all. And he's getting more and more and more worked up. And he's saying whatever he's saying, and I'm saying, okay, fine, yep, I'll get that. I'll pass that feedback to my client. He got himself so worked up where he's yelling down the phone telling me that he thinks my clients are liars. They're lying, because how could they do, they offered that first offer on 90 days and now they're offering on 120 days, 12 months. So gone from 90 days to 12 months. I think they're lying. I don't think they have the money. Surely they could. Here's the kicker. He said to me, surely they could go and sell something else or refinance something else to get it done in the 90 days. I'm like, me on the phone going, dude. I didn't. I'm just listening, and he's going off like a banshee. He lost it. He lost it. And I said, okay, I will pass that feedback back to my clients. So he's going off, but he's not getting anything back from me, which made him go off even more. But for him to say, my clients are lying and that surely they could go and do something else to get the financing or get the settlement or whatever he had in his brain that he felt needed to happen, for him to get his sale, wow. Wow. As I said, I'll pass your feedback on to my client and I'll come back to you. I said, okay, all right. So hung up from that and I'm gone. Wow. Okay, so get on the phone to my clients. I said, right, I've just spoken to a real estate agent. This is what was said. This is what he said. And he called you liars. And how would you feel if, which you weren't, they weren't. They're absolutely not lying. But you're being told, you're having all these things and tricks and so forth. Well, it's all about me. Like I said, do you be. And I'm just saying to my clients, and they cracked it and they said, look, that's it. We'll just wait for the auction. It's all fine. We'll just wait for the auction. We'll see what happens. So that was the Tuesday. I said, that's fine. I'm not going to bring the agent back. I'll talk to him in the morning. So in the morning, the agent rings me. And so remember, he's gone off his rocker the day before. Agent rings me and I said, hi, pick up the phone. Hi, agent. He goes, hi, Wendy. How are you? I've always been fine. How are you today? Just ringing to see what the feedback is. And I said, well, they're going to let me know, because actually they had said they're going to let me know. I already knew, but they said they were just going to confirm in the morning. They said they're going to think on it, but we think we're just going to go to the auction. So I already knew. So when he's rang me, I said, look, they're just having a think. I'll let you know. He said, okay. So polite. So polite. Anyway, my clients say, no, we're just going to wait for the auction. So I thought, I'm not going to speak to him anymore because he's just been arrogant and rude. Like, you don't need to speak to people like that. It was just wild. So I rang the agent that I originally spoke to. So if you listen to the previous episode, you'll know that the property was listed with an agent that I know really, really well and I've known for a very long time. And that's who I initially spoke to before this other guy that was also involved messaged and said, you're going to be dealing with me. So I started ringing him. Like, whatever. Anyway, I went back to the guy that I know, and I've known this guy for a really, really long time, this agent. Like a long time, like over 10 years, like a long time. And I rang him and he said, he's obviously being updated with what's going on in the background. And he said, hi, Wendy, how are you? And I said, yeah, good. I just need to let you know, this is what was said. And so I said what the agent had said, that the agent had called my clients liars. And so I had a conversation with my clients and I've let them know what's gone on. And as a result of all of that, they're no longer proceeding with any offer. They're just going to show up at an auction on Saturday and see what happens. This was the Wednesday. So the auction was in what? Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So 3 days' time after the Wednesday. So I've told him this. There was a pause. And then this agent says, you shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have told your clients that. He goes, things get heated in the heat of the moment, and yeah, they do. But you do not say things like that. You don't say things that you don't mean. You don't say things that are going to blow up your deal. So anyway, he started berating me about the fact that I had been honest with my clients, that I had conveyed the conversation accurately to my clients. So I let him finish. And I said, we've known each other for a very long time, and you will not tell me how to speak to my clients. You and your offsider can get as upset with me as you want, but I will not lie to my clients. I don't work for you. I work for my clients. You are not going to tell me how to speak to my client. And then I said, politely, that's it, we're done, and hung up the phone. You don't tell me how to speak to my clients. You don't tell me what to say. If something is said that is pertinent to the decision-making process that they need to make when it comes to buying a property, I am going to tell them. I am going to tell them. And if you get yourself so worked up that you call my clients liars, I'm going to tell them that. And that is on you, that they change their mind and think, so anyway, I had a call later, that was around lunchtime, I think it was, maybe 1 or 2 o'clock. And so I just, I remember, because I had that conversation in the car because I was out and about, and I remember I went to wherever the next thing I needed to go, and before I went in there, I spoke to my clients, and I said, this is what's happened. I've just been hauled over the coals by the offside of the other agent, and my clients were just flabbergasted. They just like, are you kidding me? I said, no, it's fine. I got it handled, but I'm just letting you know what is going on here. They were furious, absolutely furious. So, this was Wednesday by then. And so the agent, after I spoke to my clients and just confirmed that they were just waiting for the auction, I rang the agent that I'd known a really long time and said, look, no, they're just waiting for the auction. And they said, all right, okay, fine. He wasn't happy. He was not happy at all. Anyway, next morning, this was the Thursday, I get a call from the other agent. He was polite before on the Wednesday. Who knows what happened, but I would suggest that he might have had someone talk to him about what he had said and the result of the outcome of that. Because he rang me and he was so polite to me. And he said, oh, Wendy, how's it going? Just checking in, just to see how your clients are going, whether or not they're going to put forward another offer. And I said, look, we've been talking for a few days now, and the offers that we've been putting forward with the terms and the settlement periods, which don't suit your client but are looking to suit our client, we're trying to work it out here. I said, it's all quite complicated. You've told me you've got other buyers interested. I said, what about this guy, the guy that's come back from New York? What about him? You said he had the money to buy the property. Oh, well, look, he's having trouble getting finance now because he hasn't lived here and his income and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. So what you told me wasn't actually the situation. You were just telling me that to try and get me to up my offer or whatever. And this is what agents do. Agents will, I like to say that they're fluid with the truth. They like to say things to manipulate an outcome, to try and get you as a buyer to do whatever. So in this case, to get you to make an offer or to show up. So as the course of the week had gone on, as I said, my spidey senses were tingling, going, something's not quite adding up here, because you're looking, because that's what they were saying to us. That's right. So early on in the process, so every real estate agency has their offer process, and you need to understand what the process is in relation to how offers are received, timeframes, turnarounds, things like that. And it's different for every single agent. And when I first spoke on the Monday to the agent, when we were still talking about going to auction, and I said, okay, if we were to make an offer, what are your terms? And they said, which is standard, they say, look, if you make an offer in writing and it's acceptable to the vendor, they give everybody else that's inquired on the property 24 hours to basically counter and say they're competing. And then you end up in a boardroom, in the case of this agency, to all sit around a table and bid against each other, which is quite intimidating for people if you're not used to it. And I've done it a few times, where you end up, it's literally you're sitting across like a dining room table. That's the width of a table, and you are bidding and staring at people and bidding. So people do find that very, very intimidating. So that's what I said. There'll be the 12 hours. And then as we're going through the process by the, I think it was by the Tuesday or the Wednesday. No, it was by the Wednesday. They said, well, look, we're happy to deal exclusively with your client. And if they put an offer forward that's acceptable, then we won't ring anybody else. Like you're doing me a favour. I said, yeah, but you said that you do the 24-hour ring arounds. What's changed? Oh, well, look, we want to do the deal with you because you don't have anybody else. It's like bauga with the alarm bells, knowing what you're up to. I know what you're up to and I know what you're doing. So, and again, I'm relaying this all back to my client going, well, isn't this interesting? It was the 24-hour ring around thing, and then we're going to deal exclusively with you, and then please just make an offer. So it turns out that the vendor didn't want to have to fly down for an auction that was only probably just going to be us, because there was nobody else, because the other person couldn't get their finance because they'd been living overseas, international income, whatever their circumstances were. Some other person that they had mentioned early on vanished into thin air. And so it was just us. And he had torpedoed the entire deal by calling my clients liars. And then I got berated and dragged over the coals for doing my job, and I got told off for doing my job. And they were just scared that they weren't going to have anybody at all. Interesting, hey? Did I say I have a lot of fun with what I do? I love what I do. So interesting. So that negotiation went on for a little bit longer as well. Yeah, we did end up buying the property because it didn't end up going to auction. But there's more to the saga, would you believe? There is more to the saga, and I will share that on a future Property Mama episode because it gets better and you might want to get some popcorn. So if you are looking to buy real estate and you haven't done it before, we work with a lot of beautiful first home buyers. Haven't done it before, haven't done it for ages. I'm not confident, don't like real estate agents, don't trust real estate agents, don't think they tell the truth. Go figure. If you want someone to bid at auction for you because you're not confident, perhaps you have other commitments, you might be interstate overseas, you might have to attend a wedding and they won't let you not attend the wedding, and it's exactly at the time when your auction's on, because that's happened as well with clients. Or you found your dream home and you just want us to negotiate, because you can see how negotiations go. Because I won't put up with real estate agents' crap, because it's just, yes, real estate's a game. Know how to play the game. Know the rules of the game. Know where the goalposts are and know when they move them. Know which code you're playing when it comes to real estate. ChamberlainAdvocates.com.au. If you'd like us to support you on your home buying journey, it would be our absolute pleasure to do so. I get enormous satisfaction about seeing my clients, that look on their face when they've purchased a property. It's just amazing to play a part in helping people take that next step in whatever it is they're wishing to do in their lives. And sometimes that's buying a property, sometimes that's selling a property. We are here to help you. Myself and my advocates are qualified to work with you. So reach out across your favourite social platforms, send us a message, or head over to chamberlainadvocates.com.au, or you can give us a call, old style, on the phone, and we'll have a chat. And We would love to support you and stand side by side with you as you are putting that sold sticker on your new home, or holding up a sticker when it's off market because there's no board out the front. Always fun then as well. So thank you so much for joining me again for fun and adventures in real estate here at Property Mama, and I look forward to seeing you and joining you again for more adventures very soon. Bye-bye for now.